Where we get these lamb chops?
These are Costco. Well, they're from New Zealand, technically.
New Zealand lamb chops.
Yeah. Big difference between lamb and mutton, by the way. Mutton's old and it's gross.
How long you let these things marinate?
Well, currently I gave them a little time to marinate in the wine, and then the dogs are excited about them. They get a little time in the wine, but then once I season them properly, I'll let them marinate for 24 hours. But the wine is the first thing. I just let it absorb, and I think it absorbs pretty quickly. And then I'll start adding salt, pepper, oil, and then all the other secret ingredients that I don't want to share with you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You brought the Schmo all the way out here to Anaheim to your house just to cut some lamb chops. We
Hey,
see how it is.
You want an interview? You got to work for it.
All right.
It's okay. It could be worse. We could be on the phone.
This is the Schmo with the pro, with the number 4th ranked UFC Lightweight Beneil Dariush inside your home, Anaheim, California. How we doing?
It never gets old, brother. Yeah, doing good. Good to see you, brother.
It's great to see you. Got a haircut just for the Schmo. What's the digs? What's the situation?
I had to get the haircut. It was starting to get in the face. I was looking too much like a caveman, and anytime it affects my training, it's got to go.
So you brought the Schmo here just to help you cook some lamb chops?
Well, your timing was perfect. Let's just put it that way. Cutting through all that lamb takes time, and you helped me cut the time. I wouldn't say in half. You were a little slow, but you definitely cut the time down a little bit for me. Thank you.
You're getting cheap lamb chops. You're going over to Costco. You're not going to the local butcher shop.
From New Zealand. It's very specific. You don't want muttons. You want lamb chops. It's not. It's one of those things where if you don't do it right, it's not gonna come out good.
Got to get you to do a cook-off with Volkanovski. Cooking with Volk should be cooking with Beneil.
Outside of barbecue and lamb chops and maybe steaks, I don't really cook much. But if we're talking, if we want to barbecue, we want to do like a brisket, a tri-tip, or things in that nature, or like beef ribs. I can do that. But if you want to cook, I'm not gonna. You're not gonna catch me in the kitchen much. Even my eggs, I rather just drink them than, cook them.
Red meat only and some raw eggs. This guy.
Well, the meat, I actually just prefer that taste. I don't. It's called blue, I guess, is what they call it. I like the flavor of meat. I don't. Unlike most Middle Eastern people, I don't like well done. I actually hate it.
You'd eat a thing alive, wouldn't you?
No, that would be unnecessary. I would kill it with my bare hands, cut it up, probably take off the skin, and then eat it.
We got to do a hunting trip one day, but let's talk a little mixed martial arts. Talk to the Schmo for a second, man. Arman Tsarukyan, we're over there in San Diego. We're talking to your manager, Ali Abdulaziz, and he drops this bombshell that you and Arman potentially are going to be dancing. Main event coming up here in the next couple of months.
Yeah, so I don't know about main event or exact date, but they've told me basically they're looking at December. They haven't given me specifics, but it could be main event. It could be. It could not. So details are not there yet. No contract, so that's why I don't really have the details. But honestly, I as long as I get to fight top contenders, I get to fight the best guys in the world. I'm not complaining.
Well, who else would it be? Would it be Dustin Poirier or would it be Arman Tsarukyan? Who else his name would be in the hat if it wasn't one of those two guys?
The other two options, logically speaking, would be Chandler or Poirier, but neither one is interested. So I'm not gonna pursue, and I'm not gonna play this game where I have to spend all this time yelling at somebody so they can fight me. Don't want to fight me? That's fine. I'll move on. And I think Arman is the future. If you look at him, the kid's what, 27, 28? I'm not sure exactly how old he is, but he's the future, man. He's so good, and so I want to fight these guys. I want to fight the best guys. When I retire, I can look back and say, not only did I fight everybody they put in front of me, but I fought the best guys in the world.
Hypothetically speaking, let's say you and Arman do dance against each other in the next upcoming months. Where do you feel like your advantages are over him outside of the wisdom and the experience?
Well, it's tricky because I think grappling is going to be really close. I think striking it's really close. So in reality, we're really close in terms of skill sets. I think what will make the difference is experience, but also um my ability to basically uh, conserve energy. I think I do a better job than him. So I think that's going to be something that plays a factor, and just I think I do a better job pressuring too. But we'll see. You never know, because when you're young, every time you fight, you grow. And he recently fought, and he looked good in this fight, and I'm sure he's going to grow from that. So I have to make adjustments, not looking at the fighter he is now, but the fighter I expect him to be in the next 10 weeks or whatever amount of time it is. So I will make adjustments based on what I think he needs to do and what he does currently.
A couple weeks from now, we got the title fight in Abu Dhabi. We got the rematch between Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev. What do you think Charles has to do to upset Islam Makhachev? Because listen, Islam is even more favored in this rematch than he was the first time these two danced.
I think fight patiently. Uh, don't force last time Charles really tried to force the takedown. Don't force the takedown. Be okay at fighting at that middle range. Use your kicks, use your push kicks, use your punches and whatever. Don't force the finish. I think if you don't do that, you take your time. Then you're now you're trying to solve a puzzle. I think if he tries to solve a puzzle, he'll have an easier time than trying to break through the wall. If that makes sense.
Where do you think you underestimated him, if you underestimated him at all? That is Charles Oliveira when you guys fought.
To be honest, I just that wasn't my night. I didn't perform as well as I should have, and there was really nothing I saw from him that I didn't expect. I just didn't have a good night, and it was Charles's night. It was that simple.
So you do believe that Islam's going to win and he's going to hear and still.
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards Islam. I don't see Makachev losing in. It's hard to see him losing in a decision against Charles. So and he's a very good defensive fighter. So I lean towards Makachev. Yeah.
So if Makhachev wins, he's already talked about going up to 170 and challenging for that belt. Would you like to see that, or do you think it's going to be holding up your division?
It's gonna hold up the division. Let's keep the ball rolling. I think myself and the other lightweights agree we should just keep fighting.
And then do you think the next man in line is Justin Gaethje after what he did to Dustin Poirier with that knockout in Salt Lake City?
I think if we're talking pay-per-view numbers, if we're talking highest ranked guy, yes, I think he is the highest ranked. I think he's the most deserving and pay-per-view. So he pretty much he meets all the check boxes. There's really not a whole lot you can say against Justin Gagey not getting the title shot. I would say he definitely deserves it. If anything, you can even put him in front of Charles because he's never fought Makhachev, right? So you can even put him in front of Charles. But at the same time, Charles was the former champion. He had a big win against me, so it makes sense to have him do the rematch.
And what do you do with Dustin Poirier?
Uh I don't know. Because in reality, the matchup that makes most sense is him and I. I believe he's either 3. Is that what he is right now? He's 3 and I'm 4. So that's the matchup that makes the most sense. But since he doesn't want to do that, he's already fought Chandler and he's teammates with Gamrot. I don't know. Right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know why they wouldn't want to do that fight. So I don't know. I don't. And God bless him. I hope he figures it out.
Well, we see two welterweight teammates going at it pretty soon in Ian Gary and Vicente Luque, so it wouldn't be the strangest thing in the world that two teammates in South Florida go up against each other in the same division.
Yeah, that's true. But from what I've seen, the interactions between Gamrot and Dustin Poirier, the way they speak about each other, I don't see them fighting each other. But I could be wrong. You could be right. They could end up fighting. But typically, from the way I've heard Gamrot speak so highly of Dustin Poirier and then vice versa, I don't think they'll fight. But I could be wrong. I'm not the best judge of character most of the time.
Nah, it could be a Marab Dvalishvili and Aljamain Sterling situation. You could be onto something here, Beneil.
Could be. We'll see. So time will tell.
Time will tell. And speaking of time will tell, Michael Chandler still holding out hope for this Conor McGregor fight. At what point do you say, hey, enough is enough if you're Michael Chandler? What would you do if you're in his shoes at this point?
The more I look at it logically, I think what Chandler wants to do is have this fight, and I'm sure he's hoping he wins, and then kind of call it. I really don't see him doing more after that. So I don't think he's going to try to do anything else besides the Conor fight. And the only way I see that changing is if Conor basically retires. The only way I see Chandler fighting somebody else is if Conor retires. Because I think
Conor McGregor is never going to retire, though.
so. Chandler's going to wait. Chandler is going to wait until his opportunity to fight Conor materializes, but he's not going to fight anybody else.
You don't see Conor McGregor picking somebody else?
No, because stylistically, Chandler is a perfect fight for him. He, distance-wise, Conor has got the advantage. He's got the, cardio-wise, they're very similar. They both come out blazing hot in the first round and slow down. So for Conor, in my opinion, Chandler is the best matchup for him. But that's my opinion. I could be wrong, and maybe they do change it. But I think Conor is going to want to fight him, and I think Chandler is definitely going to want to wait for Conor. So I don't even think of Chandler in my division anymore, personally.
What's the pathway back to winning that gold strap? Because the Schmo knows that's the Schmotivation.
Yeah. So the goal doesn't change. Obviously, I want to be champion. I think I got to beat Arman, and most likely one more fight after that. I would hope not another one, but that's what I think. I beat Arman, and then one more fight, and then they'll give me my shot at the title. But if not, then just keep fighting because I like what I do. I like what I do, and I used to do it for free, pretty much. So I get paid to do it now, and so let's just keep going.
2 Teslas and 2 daughters later, life is great.
Yeah, let's add. I want a lot more girls. My wife wants at least one boy, so we'll do like 7 more girls and then maybe one boy. Is that right? Did I do the math right? Yeah, that's 10 kids total. So yeah, she can have one boy, and I'll take the 9 girls.
It's a giant family.
After fighting, I don't have a whole lot left to do, so I'll make babies and raise them.
You gonna have a farm too? Have chickens?
I mean, I grew up on a farm, so it's not a bad idea. So maybe the next paycheck, I need a little extra so I can buy a farm somewhere.
There it is. Can we get a final message for all the Beneil Dariush fans out there worldwide?
Had a hiccup, had a small bump in the road. Nothing's changed. Training as hard as ever, and the goal is the same: is to be champion. So let's just keep it going.
He's the pro. I'm the Schmo. Anaheim, California.